Welcome to Python with Andrew, where we take a short, sharp look at some of the features of Python. And today we're going to focus, we've got a series of videos on the dictionary data type. And we're going to take it from what's a dictionary, the basics, how do we add, subtract, how do we access. Then we'll move on to looking at some of the dictionary methods. And finally, look at three applications, very basic applications, that are really useful when we use dictionaries. So we'll do those in separate videos. So please jump across to the other ones if you like it. So let's go straight over to my coding environment. And as you can see, I've set up the top there. A dictionary is an ordered, and it's mutable. In other words, we can change the elements of the dictionary, but it does not allow duplicates. If you remember the discussion on lists, lists are also ordered. You can also change the lists, and a list allows duplicates. Dictionaries do not allow duplicates. So that's one major difference between dictionaries and lists. Another difference is that a dictionary has a key value pair, whereas lists just have values. And the way you access them in lists is by you go item 0, item 1, item 2, etc. Dictionaries are different, key value. And the way you access it is you ask for the dictionary key, and it gives you the value. A bit confusing, but you'll see when we do a few examples here. The syntax, nice and simple. I've created one here on the screen where we have the key, which is chips, and the value, which is 10. The key is chocolate, the value is 8. Key is Coke, value is 5. The key is popcorn, the value is 12. So as you can see, I've got a list of 4 items. It's sort of like my favorite items in the supermarket. And that might be the number that are on the shelf. Let's call this an inventory list. In fact, let's change it from dictionary to inventory, right, just to make it a bit more useful. And if I try to print the inventory, as you'd imagine, it's going to print the dictionary in the format that we want. Now, remember, I said that we can access the items not by the subscript or the index, but by the key. So if I do print inventory square bracket chips, that will take me to the chips key value and return the value. So if you can see it's 10, just the number 10. What's odd about dictionaries and lists is they both use these square brackets to, if you like, access the elements. But when you see the definition, it's the curly brackets up the top. So that's how we simply create a dictionary. And we can certainly access chips, and we could access other functions in a dictionary. So for example, we can do print what is the length of the dictionary. Okay, and that would give us what we would expect, which is the length is 4. So we had the length of a list, the length of a string. Now we've got the length of an inventory, which is the number of keys in the inventory, not the number of keys plus the number of values, just the number of keys. Okay. Now, remember I said that an inventory is changeable, or mutable is the funny word that I'm using to describe it, but is changeable. So I can do this. I can do inventory square bracket chips equal to not 10, but 20. All right, so I'm updating my inventory. And if I print the number of chips now, actually, let me print the whole dictionary out again. In fact, I'm going to clean up some of the other bits. So I print the inventory, I update the inventory, and then I print it out again. So let's see what that looks like. You can see chips, the format of the dictionary is the same. The difference is I've now updated it from 10 to 20. So that shows you that it is changeable. Okay. And another interesting thing is I can easily add to my inventory. So instead of inventory chips, let's do inventory dip for our chips, and we're going to add 2 items to the key dip. So if I save that and clear that and run that, you can see I've added, quite simply, I've added another item to the inventory. Okay? So very, very useful. And one last thing I can do is use the in operator like we did with lists, and it's going to return true or false. So if I print is chips in inventory, let's see what that shows us. True, right? Because that key is in the inventory. And we're going to use that a lot later on when we want to have an application where we might want to test, is it in the dictionary? If so, update it. If it's not in the dictionary, maybe we'll add it after that. So that's a quick introduction to dictionaries. The next video, I'll talk about the various methods that we can use, like we did on lists and strings. We can use methods because a dictionary is an object like everything in Python. Pretty well everything in Python is an object. That's all for this video. Again, if you like us, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.